Hey! Welcome to the show on a Thursday. Welcome, Patreon members. Let's do it live, baby. Doing it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
It's a pre-game show meeting we have here. Every day. It sounds the same, but we love it.
I want all of you to enjoy your cake. So, enjoy.
Welcome, guys. 833-599-6425. 833-599-6425 is the phone number. Remember, guys, as a way of thanking you for being loyal listeners, I have a 20% off promo codes for you to use at my website store from now until Halloween. Go to nickdip.com. Facebook listeners use promo code Facebook20. YouTube listeners use promo code YouTube20. And patrons use Patreon20 for 20% off anything in the store. That includes hats, shirts, CDs, DVDs, signed CDs or DVDs. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, there's a link there for you to watch my last 3 specials for free. And there's people binge watching them, which I absolutely love. I can't watch 3 minutes of me without getting fucking queasy. Dates, real quick. Mostly for you people listening and not watching. Saturday, October 27th, I'll be at Lucy's in Pleasantville, New York. Saturday and Sunday, November 2nd and 3rd, Governors in Levittown, Long Island. Tuesday, November 6th, Fat Black Pussycat in New York City. Friday, November 9th, and Saturday, November 10th, Comics at Mohegan Sun, Uncasville, Connecticut. Saturday, November 17th, the Comedy Shop of Bud Lake, New Jersey. Friday, November 30th, the Corner Comedy Club, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Saturday, December 1st, the same place. Monday, December 31st, Tarrytown Music Hall, Tarrytown, New York. That is a New Year's Eve gig at my favorite venue. Saturday, January 12th, the Fairfield Theater Company. That's in Fairfield, Connecticut. Saturday, January 19th, Bobby V's, as in Bobby Valentine, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. So be there or be a queer. Yeah, be a queer. Great gigs. I'm looking at my schedule going, Jesus H. Huh? Hey, what happened to warm October days? I just went outside, my nuts were in my forehead in about 30 seconds. And what the fuck's the deal, folks? I'm not ready for it. Not ready for it. I have a wood-burning stove. I just remember saying to my wife, Jesus, before you know it, we're bringing this wood back in. And here we are. Wait till you twinks get to be, once you hit 30 to 40, it's like somebody has both feet on the gas pedal. You'll fucking freak. And then 40 to forget about it. It's like you laid on the couch for 5 minutes and you woke up and you have osteoporosis, blood in your stool, and your hair's falling out. But luckily, if you do 5 minutes of Pilates like I do, you can still look good. I noticed that Ryan actually has sleeves on today. What's the occasion? No brassiere, panties?
Yeah, my titties are cold.
Your titties are cold. He says that, and I see fucking Jason over there just shaking his head in disgust. Anyways, 833-599-6425 if you'd like to join in the show. I'll get to the Red Sox-Astros controversy in quotes. I don't know what controversy it was. Clearly fan interference. They had more footage of it than the fucking Zapruder film, and Astros are saying there aren't enough cameras. What do you want, the fucking Mookie to be having a colonoscopy when he goes up for the catch? I mean, how many fucking cameras do you need up in that batch? We'll get to that in a few seconds. What's the top story? More brown people making their way to the most racist country on the planet, according to the Democrats. Just, do we have a picture that came with the article?
We can shortly.
Yeah, go ahead. Pull that fucker up. Anyways. More Honduran migrants seek to join United States-bound group in Guatemala. More Honduran migrants tried to join a caravan of several thousand trekking through Guatemala on Wednesday, defying calls by authorities not to make the journey after the U.S. President Trump threatened to cut off regional aid in reprisal. Why do we have to give aid to every shithole on the planet when we have people starving in our backyard? Can I just ask you that? Well, you're the richest country on the face. Yeah, thanks to our hard work. You guys ought to try it. Nick, what do you mean by that? I don't know. Read into it however you want to read. The caravan's been growing. By the way, the caravan, you know what it is? There it is. What's funny about this picture is that's them, like yesterday. What's funny about that is that's either a caravan of Guatemalans going through Honduras, or I should say Hondurans going through Guatemala, or it's a truck at the Home Depot about a mile from my house every morning, or it's my lawn guys leaving. What's funny is that's them like 2 days ago, and that's exactly what they'll be sitting on 5 years from now. Because you have to start here in America sort of at the bottom. But they're coming over to suck off the tit of the U.S. taxpayers, and they know it. Does the woman on the far right look like she's actually starving or fleeing from any... Are you fucking dog styling me? She's got more rolls than I do. And, yeah. And you can tell they're the best and the brightest, can't you? Just look at the kid in the middle. He's definitely a future electrical engineer or brain surgeon. Sorry, but Trump is right on all counts. Back of a fucking truck. The caravan's been growing like a tumor, I added that for emphasis, steadily since it left the violent Honduran city of San Pedro Sula on Saturday. I have a summer home down there. It was burned down a few years ago, and I put an American flag on my porch. The migrants hope to reach Mexico, where they will get the shits and all kinds of measles, and then cross into the northern border with the United States, through Montreal. To seek refuge from endemic violence. What left-wing piece of shit did I... Oh, this is Reuters. Well, that explains it. To seek refuge from endemic violence and poverty in Central America. Because, it's up to us, isn't it? The United States. It's apparently our responsibility to babysit the rest of the fucking planet. I'm telling you. But get used to hearing this. This will be in neighbors all over the country.
No come mierda, sarra, hijo de puta. ¿Qué te estás haciendo ahora? Eso, ay, hijo de puta. No. Ay, señor, ven.
She's either giving birth or somebody just scored in a soccer game. I can't, you got... Several thousand people are now part of the caravan. It's a Dodge mini caravan. And according to Reuters, witness traveling with the group in Guatemala, where men, women, and children on foot and riding in trucks fill a road on their long journey to Mexico. Later on Wednesday, Guatemalan President Jimmy Morales, who played shortstop for the Brewers in AAA, said his government rejected constraints placed on foreign aid. Oh, did they? Well, I'm glad you rejected it, but we're going to put restraints on it. No help can be conditioned and no help can be demanded. I don't know what the fuck that means, Morales told the reporters. He said he had spoken with his Honduran counterpart, President Juan Orlando Hernandez, a left fielder for the Padres, about ensuring that those migrants who want to return home can do so safely, and cited reports indicating that many people from the caravan are returning to Honduras. Well, you just told us it was growing by the thousands. Which one is it, cheesy? Fungus face. Trump threatened to cut off aid to Honduras. I thought he said AIDS. It's too late. Guatemala and El Salvador, if they failed to prevent... I wish they just quoted him. He could have just said the shitholes that I aforementioned. If they failed to prevent undocumented immigrants from heading to the United States, which I think he's exactly right. Here's Trump.
All right, get out! Get out!
But he put up his tweet now. That's when you can do it, when I read it. That's not the one, but hard to believe that with thousands of people from south of the border walking unimpeded toward our country in the form of large caravans, that the Democrats won't approve legislation that will allow laws for the protection of... Well, it really isn't hard to believe, Mr. President. You ran against these dickheads. That's their future base. That's all this is about. They could give two fucks about these people. It's about future votes so they can seal up power for the next 1,000 years because, black and brown is the future, apparently, of the country. That's why I just joined a tanning bed a couple weeks ago. How do I look? Oh, pasty. The Honduran government has urged citizens not to join the caravan, calling it politically motivated. On Wednesday morning near the Guatemalan border, authorities could be seen stopping Hondurans still hoping to join. with police in riot gear at one checkpoint, halting buses carrying at least 100 people. You sure that wasn't a rally by the Proud Boys at Berkeley or some shit? 833-599-6425. Look at that. Those are the future shortstops and second basemen of the AL East. Get a good look at them. And again, folks, don't get on me because I'm a big fan of the Latinos. The guy, and I'm not kidding you, the guy who does my landscaping, I cut the grass still. I got a lot of grease ball in me. I have that connection to the earthy Italians. But when there's bigger jobs to be done, like building a stone wall or a casket for my wife, I call on the Guatemalans. Anyways, adult citizens of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador and Nicaragua need only, listen to this, present a national identity card to cross each other's borders. That regional immigration agreement does not apply when they reach Mexico. It doesn't? Why not? Why not? That's my question. Thought I had a thing for that right here, but I forgot to put it. Okay. But you want to hear a bullshit statement? Mexico said anyone who enters the country with a Mexican visa can move freely, while those without proper documents will be subject to review and could be deported, which is such a bullshit fucking lie. Mexico is handing these people maps to my house and your house, okay? We all know that. And seriously, you can go online and find documents. This was covered 2 years ago, where Mexican government officials literally handing illegals ways to sneak into the United States. And again, one of them is to dress like an infielder for the Mets or the Yankees. And if you can go to your left or right, they have a guy there with a fungo bat. That's how they test you. John Rocker says no. But don't believe Mexico for a second when they say, oh, subject to review. This is the review. You look like you would bother Trump and his supporters. Here you go. Here's a fucking pole vault. A slingshot. So don't buy it. Trump is getting fucking out. Did we put up his tweets? You can put up whatever you got there.
We have these for this story.
Go ahead. Anyways, back to the show. I'm watching the Democrat Party led because they want open border. Assault on our country by Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, whose leaders are doing little to stop this large flow of people, including many criminals from entering Mexico. That's the one that gets them going. That's where the people get fucking. What do you mean? He's exactly right. Did you see anybody in there who's going to play tennis on the back of the... Look, most of those people are hardworking, but he's been right since he ran. Some of them are not good people. That's just how it is. If they survive these third world shitholes, they got to be... In addition to stopping all payments to these countries, which seem to have almost no control of the population, I must, in the strongest terms, ask Mexico to stop this onslaught. And if unable to do so, I will call up the U.S. military and close our southern border, and I'll believe it when I goddamn see it. You call the Marines.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
I'm not saying shoot them. I am saying with rubber bullets. I'm not fucking kidding. I keep pushing the rubber bullet non-lethal ways. Seriously. Rubber bullets. And landmines, which you can't do because of some UN paperwork after World War I. But, small landmines. Not going to blow a person to... Don't vaporize anybody. Just take a foot off. But then how are they going to mow my lawn? I don't know. It's a real quagmire up here. But I'm telling you, rubber bullets. Seriously. You could spray them with rubber bullets and they will get back on that fucking truck, throw it in reverse. Nick, that's really ridiculous, is it? But yeah, Trump threatened to send the military to block the migrant caravan. I don't know, do we have that kind of firepower to stop a minivan or a flatbed? That's what scares me. Ever look at the Middle East, the terrorists were fighting? And they beat Russia, they beat us in Afghanistan. Well, every time I see a clip, they're in the back of a Isuzu pickup truck with a piece of plywood and a machine gun, and they're fucking winning? I saw a couple ISIS guys with a box of Legos putting together a machine gun the other day. I mean, my ache and stem, you fuckstains. Are you with me? I must, in the strongest of terms, ask... I can't even do Trump. Can't do him. Anyways, he's not playing. He claimed that the caravan included criminals. Hopefully, he says, Mexico will stop this onslaught at the northern border. All Democrats fault for weak laws. And I'm sorry, but the fucking guy, I don't know how you could argue that, Chuck Schumer.
You are correct, sir.
Trump appeared willing to end his new trade deal with Mexico if the caravan was not stopped. This is a great quote, and I love the assault on our country at our southern border, including the criminal elements and drugs pouring in, is far more important to me as president than trade or the USMCA, which is a song by Bob Seger, I believe, on the Live Bullet album. That's the new NAFTA deal that includes Canada, Mexico, and a couple of other... Anyways, the minute... That's what we have over everybody in the world, whether it's the Russians, whether it's nations of, Western Europe. We are the strongest economy. Do you understand that Russia's economy is about the size of not even Texas? Seriously, I read that. The Chinese, General Tso's chicken people are who we have to worry about. But that's what you do. You threaten to cut off any money, and they seem to backpedal like a Giants defensive back getting burned deep on a fly route. Who's with me, you motherless fucks? 833-599-6425. Call in. I don't feel like talking. Anyway, I can't believe it. And Larry Bird was fouled. So, I love the stance that Trump's taken. But, and if you agree with him, don't listen to your lib friend. That makes you a bigot. Shut the fuck up with your name calling. Blue wave? I'm talking red wave. Like down in Florida after the hurricane. The red tide coming in. There were fucking sharks washing up on stage with a really wet cough, and there's birds with fucking asthma, and there's clams with fever. It's... What? You heard me. But that's what you do. You threaten them. We'll cut off your money. Because we give money to everybody. You don't hear about it from Chuck Todd with his fucking 8th grade goatee and his balding head. Hi, how are you? Good to see you up there. The hole in my ceiling's where a bat came in once, and he never left. I shut the door. I said, no, you just can't leave. Jesus, I got the physique of a 78-year-old man. What the fuck is going on? I hope it's the camera angle. Go pro. I look like a fucking AA player. Bring that. Yes, sir.
I got a super chat for you, Nick.
Okay.
We missed him yesterday. It
All
is
right.
Carl Makula. Nick, did you watch Rogan's new Netflix special?
No, I didn't. I don't watch other people's specials other than maybe Louis, Norm Macdonald, Colin Quinn. I really don't. I don't watch other people. I'll eventually get to it because you and about 17 other people will ask me that. And I love Rogan, been on his show many times. But you'll find most comics don't watch other comics. We have tunnel vision. But eventually I'll watch it here and there. But it's what I do for a living. Ask Carl what he does for a living. Ask him if he goes to, I don't know, miniature golf where he works and watches the people try to get it through the windmill. I just, I really have to, I mean, like I get Robert Klein sprinkled in again today's show, who I absolutely love. And even then I watch bits and pieces, but I'll get to Joe's next time I probably go out there or whatever, because I love him. He's a fucking testosterone driven nutcase, and he does make me laugh, and I'll get to it, but there's no fucking rush. I'll get to it a year from now or whatever. And I guarantee he feels the same way about me, and Collins feels the same about me, and just become jaded. April flowers, they may come your way, but they bring you flowers. They bloom in May. So if it's raining, I have no regrets, because it's not raining, it's raining violets. That was my yearbook quote in high school. And boy, did I get beat up. So Trump's talking military and shit. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I would love to put on the news. And I don't mean the National Guard. I don't mean the guys that fucking do it on the weekends. I want to see, 10,000 Marine troops just laying on their bellies with the tripods. Again, rubber bullets or maybe super soakers with cat piss. And you don't have to kill anybody, although you have every right to, believe me. Try telling that to a Democrat, one of your jerk-off friends. Have every right to fucking use lethal force. It's the president's first duty, by the way. Jesus Christ. Thought I liked that view. Not too crazy about it. Let's get to last night. Let me tell you what else I'm going to cover after we talk about Red Sox Astros. I got a black racist who brutally beat down a guy in the Bronx at a pizzeria, which happens every other day, but nobody reports it but me. We have a leftist jerk-off in Texas who lost his mind, started tearing up Ted Cruz signs with some guy's lawn. Just mentally ill. We have an Ole Miss professor, self-hating white. I'm guessing he's gay. He's just so far left. He's fucking just self-hate. Just it disgusts me. I can't. Again, I'd hang out with. I have more respect for Black Lives Matter members than I do a guy like that professor. And then Kleenex, the company, has to rebrand man-sized tissues because of gender complaints. So it's officially over here in the country. And then we have this twatzone that works at the Treasury Department who's actually leaking to the press financial disclosures about Manafort and shit, and she's been arrested and whatnot. She makes the thick ankle dog face look like Melania Trump. Just, again, another unhappy bitch. Let's get to the Astros. Livid over controversial call. Controversial my ass. Game 4 last night. The Red Sox took a 3-1 lead in the series. Jackie Bradley Jr., who I've been saying to my friends, I said, I understand he's the best defensive fielder. We don't need somebody there. I said, he's so good defensively, you'd get somebody good for him. Here's my thoughts on Jackie. And I kept saying this. I kept saying, I would trade this guy tomorrow. And then he gets that 3-run double a couple nights ago, the bases loaded, so I had to shut my mouth. And then last night when he came up on purpose, I said, this fucking guy's a rally killer. 2-run home. And I have to shut my mouth. He hit a grand slam. He's got 9 ribbies. He's the MVP of this. I had been saying all season, the Sox aren't going to beat anybody good unless the bottom third, like Jackie Bradley, starts hitting, and Chavez and Sandy Leone, all the people you saw on the back of the truck a few minutes ago. Anyways, the Houston Astros aren't blaming any fan or even a veteran umpire's call, but they were left seething Wednesday night, believing that Major League Baseball cheated them out of a possible victory for having too few cameras and an inferior replay. What the fuck are you talking about? There was more angles than the goddamn Kennedy assassination. I'm pissed off. We're all pissed off. Right fielder Josh Reddick, former Red Sox, said, that's the best way to describe it. Frustration. And beyond that, to being pissed off because it would have made a big difference in the game, he says. The Astros convinced that MLB robbed them of a 2-run homer by Jose Altuve, who I love, by the way. I mean, by the way, this series is far from over, folks. I've been around. I'm 101 years old. I've seen all this shit. They believe they robbed Altuve when replay officials in New York upheld right field umpire Joe West ruling of fan interference, now on the brink of elimination. Let's take a look at the video, and I don't know what's controversial. I'm not being biased here. I know I'm a Bostonian. I don't see what's controversial. I've been watching this game long enough. Show the video.
Rookie with the jump. He had it measured. It looked like he was going to catch it. And he gets stopped from catching it from the hand.
Stop it. Stop. The fans clearly... Is this the one I sent with the kids explaining it? Yeah? Do we get into that on this video?
It's kind of quiet because it's a film of the TV.
But we'll show another angle. The guy's clearly, that yellow line. See the guy with his hand on the yellow line? His arm is parallel to it. And then you get the guy who's actually making contact with Mookie, whose fucking hand is 3 inches from that guy's hand. Do you see what I'm saying? A little perspective. Okay, let it run.
The fan
Look, they're reaching over the yellow. Right there, stop. They are clearly reaching over that yellow line. If you don't believe that, you're mentally ill or you're from the Houston area. That's that's a definition of fan interference. They closed his glove on him. Like a 18-year-old snatch at a fucking rave. What kind of analogy? Well, I got that from Joe Garagiola. Boy, those 18-year-olds will close their snatch on you. It's a great impression. You guys don't know this guy, but he's around a long time. Come on. If that guy was reaching any further, he'd be touching the pitcher's mound. What are they talking? How is that not interference? And by the way, Mookie would have made that catch. He was still rising. You know, the blacks with their vertical leaps. That's a compliment. I don't care how you take it. He's my favorite player anyways. Well, Benintendi, actually, who saved the game with that dive and catch. What a game. What a series. Let it go. Let it go. Now, there's Kennedy's head snapping back.
The call from Joe West, the crew chief, right away stuck his arm up in the air.
Now, Jason, didn't I send you the one with the kid? This is off of Kids TV, unless I change my mind. You didn't get that?
No, this is the one you sent. I can look.
You don't have to look, fella. That showed it all. That showed it all in super slow motion. And I'm sorry. That is like the definition of fan interference. And my other question is, let's say, even if they didn't reach over, Mookie still, you see guys get robbed of home runs all the time. That ball is still in play. If an outfielder can still touch it, the ball is still in play. So I don't care if Mookie reached 3 feet into it. If somebody touched his glove, isn't that interference? My aching stem, ladies and gentlemen. But, and again, you know, if I'm an Astro fan, I'd probably be fucking whining too, but I'd be doing it and being intellectually dishonest. But, anyways, Reddick said, that's a clear home run, and it's got to be called right. We lost by 2. These are 2 runs that we could have used, is what he said.
Don't give me that smart alecky shit.
That's what I said to him. Anyways, we'll give him credit. The Astros refused to say the call was the sole reason for the defeat, but as the game dragged into the night with Alex Bregman, who, by the way, this Bregman guy, if I could have anybody on my team, he's playing third base like Brooks Robinson did for the Orioles in the World Series in the 70s against whoever, the Mets, I don't know who it was. I mean, this guy, defensively, offensively, every time I see this guy, I get the sweats. I've watched a couple Astro games on national TV, not against the Red Sox. I saw him hit a home run. Last year, I saw him hit, every time I saw him, he hit a home run. He's built like fucking Ryan, weighs about 11 grams soaking wet. He's got the fucking forearms of Jason or Dorothy Hamill. Anyways. But the bases were loaded. Bregman lines went to left, and Andrew Benintendi, who I love, absolutely love. Yes, he's the Gindalone, that helps. But couple of big hits last night. Fast on the bases, and he's white. What? He's white. That's how I love him. I'm saying he's fast and he's white. I have to point it out. We started the day with, do we have too many cameras in the park? A.J. Hinch said. Referring to MLB clearing the team of allegations they were spying on the Red Sox by using an intern to take pictures. Maybe it's karma, folks, of the Boston dugout. He says, I wish we had an angle that was perfectly along the fence line that would show. That's the one camera we don't have. We don't need it. I just showed you. I could have had a GoPro on my hat sitting behind the fucking catcher.
They actually did have that shot. They were just like 5 fans in the way and you couldn't see.
Oh, there you go. The play happened in the bottom of the first. So a lot more went on after that. The Astros are trailing 2-0. And Tony Caldwell is the kid. We should have got him on the show, but I'm too lazy to make that call. A lifelong Astros fan who is now living with Steve Bartman from Chicago in a 2-room basement apartment in fucking Venezuela. Who happened to be sitting in the front row with Section 152, tried to catch it too. His hand knocked against Bet's glove. No one caught the goddamn ball. West called Altuve out. Replay after replay was shown, but it was virtually impossible to tell if the ball was over the fence or just short. No, it wasn't. What are you looking at? There was no conclusive evidence. Your sister's ass was conclusive evidence. What are you talking about? I know porn when I see it. That was pornography. I like Joe West, the umpire. First of all, he's got that thing hanging down. He's like a pelican. He's got the forearms of Alan Hale. He says, this is what happened. Here's the whole play, he says. He hit the ball to right field. He jumped up to try to make a catch. The fan interfered with him over the playing field. That's why I called spectator interference. He was asked, a clear call? Yes. West said, yes. The replay official said I was right. That's all. He said, I have nothing that can change it. And boy, I love that.
You are correct, sir.
Anyways. It wasn't that the Astros are upset with West's original call, but there wasn't clear evidence to show. You're so fucking full of cheese. I can't believe this. Mookie Betts got to weigh in. He says he certainly would have made the catch if not for the interference. It was a 7-foot fence. He got a great jump and was ready for the ball to land in his glove. I'm 100% positive I was going to be able to catch that one, Betts said. But as I jumped and went over, reached my hand up, I felt somebody grab my breast, and Harvey Weinstein was sitting in 52. Yep. And I was kind of pushing my glove out of the way. We seen Mookie. I should have pulled a few of his catches this year. He made ones that were 5 times harder than that. Somebody actually picked his pocket, his back pocket. So I'm pretty sure they're over the line. Who's with me? I'm sure right now a few people are fucking shitting their pants in the chat room from the Montrose area. I'm just saying, Sox are up 3-1. And you know what? It was all on display why they won 108 games last night. With the great defense, with the base running, with clutch hitting with 2 outs. They've been doing that all year. I've been watching the Sox since 1829. And I have never seen a team better with men in scoring position. And J.D. Martinez is the MVP. I know you're going, what the fuck? I love this whole national Mookie MVP. They don't even chant MVP in Boston when JD comes up. Let me ask you a question real quick, and I'll move on to some other shit. If you took away Mookie's offensive numbers or JD's, who would hurt the Red Sox more? Jason, don't pretend to look up out of the corner like you're mulling it over. I understand the argument. Mookie plays in the field, and that's a legitimate argument. But when there's a 50 difference in RBIs, almost 50 RBI, I'm sorry. The object of the game is scoring. And secondly, they keep saying how J.D. Martinez made everybody on the team a better hitter by his work habits, showing them video. I mean, that's all you hear about. If somebody's good in the clubhouse, this guy is the MVP. I'm sorry. And I love Mookie. I like Mookie better than J.D. Martinez. I'm just putting my 2 cents in. I'm just saying, but how about Mookie throwing the guy out? He's got a fucking gun. Guy tries to take second, you're down by 3 in what, the 8th inning? That's something I did in high school. Mookie with that gun, though. He is just, mamma mia. Anyways, let's lighten up. All week we've been doing kind of a thing on probably my favorite comic. The more I watch him, Robert Klein. We had a video of him. I forgot to pull it. Him coming out of a bar in L.A. drunk, arguing with a Trump supporter. I don't like Robert Klein's politics. Here's a perfect example that you can find somebody funny if you disagree with them politically, at least if you're on the right and you have an open mind. Robert Klein has always been, relax, fellas, fucking Jason. What do you get paid the quicker you get? Robert Klein, and yeah, he was berating at Trump, and he was drunk. That's why I know he's still a comedian. He's 70-something. He had a few drinks in him. And he's fucking ripping this guy into an asshole, and I disagree with everything he said. And here's a clip of him again, politically correct. Again, don't agree with the message of the joke, but I love his style and I love his cadence.
St. John's did something fantastic. They changed their logo from Red Men to Red Storm. Remember that a few years ago? I think that's so sensitive and wonderful. American Indians have a real beef there.
All right, pause it. Spoken like a true Jewish fella from New York. I think it's so sensitive. And he grew up in the Bronx, and that's the problem with New Yorkers. They think their politics. I've never heard such arrogance till I moved down here, and they think everybody in the nation should agree with that point. Because is that what sports is about? Being sensitive and And even when the Native Americans don't give a fuck, poll after poll has... But anyways, I still like the joke.
You know, redskins, washing redskins, that refers to bounties on scalps. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That's what we think
Ever
of.
see the Cleveland Indians logo with this moronic Indian on every hat with feathers and a buck teeth and a big nose? Looked like the way Jews are portrayed in the Iraqi press. You know, that big own the world banking nose. You know, that one, but this time the Indian, he's like this. They're crying out loud.
The Iraqi press.
Or the Atlanta Braves trivializing religious rituals. The tomahawk chop. You know how those things were originally? The soul and they whited it up a little with an organ. La 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 la. Go Braves! Go Braves! Anyway. How would I feel about a team? The New York Jews. I mean, how would I take to that?
I actually did that
you
bit.
Heebs, run that ball, for Christ's sakes! Come on, you big-nosed bastards, do the job, will you? Run, run, run. You're predictable, you Jew boys. Let's go! How would I like on every hat, there's a little Jew with a yarmulke and a nose like this? How would I like a cheer? Fight, Jew boys, fight! 15-yard penalty, first down, uncircumcised.
See how he throws Hebe in there? It's all right, too, because he's Jewish. And again, those rules I don't like either. Everybody should be able to say no. But I actually never saw the bit, and I had a bit about the same thing. I said, the New York, I said, well, they have the dollar sign on the side of their helmet and the Federal Reserve, whatever the logo is. But again, disagree with them, and I know he'd hate my fucking right-wing slant. But well-written jokes, smart, funny. Ryan, who's your favorite comic? Can I ask?
It's got to be you, Nick.
No, I'm not looking you to suck on my ass. Just be honest. Probably. Nobody? You got to think about that? Where did I find these fucking guys?
You found me under a rock.
Oh, my God. More hilarity brought to the show. You really have cancer of the funny bone. I'll tell you should get that x-rayed and taken out. Jason, comic.
Louis C.K.
Yes. As good as anybody to ever do it. I hear him on the radio. I'm not just saying that because I was his fucking roommate. I hear him on the radio. It's like a good Rolling Stones song. I don't care what the subject matter is.
And Nick DiPaolo, of course.
Well, naturally. Me and Louis came up together. I remember him saying that we were both on Howard Stern, and Howard's talking about me being good looking and getting broads. And Louis goes, yeah, but I had the better career. And I said, listen, you freckle face fuck. But he's fucking brilliant. Okay, he whipped his prick out next to the punch bowl. But like I said, Ryan does it every week at the Cub Scout convention. Nobody says anything. Oh! Let's get on to some black racism that nobody ever covers, except for me and Pat Dixon and Gavin McGinnis and a few people, which is on the internet. But I wonder, this is the headline. Look at this fucking white guy, Bigot. It's a black guy, yells before brutally attacking man in a Bronx pizzeria. I don't know. Do you think if a white guy said, look at this effing N-word and brutally beat the guy down, do you think they'd be talking about it on The View today as they're eating pizza? Whoopee with that fat ass, enjoy. Seriously, if I'm sick of pointing out double standards and triple standards at this point, but I'm going to keep doing it. You think it would be all over? It would be on a loop. It would be on a loop for the next fucking year. And but this happens so much, I guess it isn't considered new. We have a picture of the nice fella who did the beatdown of the guy. Boy, he looks so different than all the other criminals in the Bronx. Somebody used to do a joke. There he goes. Obviously, he just came from a wedding on 181st Street in Lenox. A bigoted attacker screamed anti-white statements at a man sitting in a Bronx pizzeria, then punched him in the face, fracturing his eye socket. You sure he wasn't at a comedy club doing right-wing material? The 59-year-old victim was sitting at a table in Ray's Pizza on East 138th Street at St. Anne's Ave in Modhaven, using his laptop, in other words, provoking the black guy. When another man stormed in, another black man stormed in, and started yelling at the white man. Look at this fucking white guy. These fucking white people think they own the world. Well, you got that right. The man bellowed. The victim tried to leave, excuse me, but the man blocked his path, then punched him in the face, hitting him hard enough to fracture his eye socket and tear his retina. Well, isn't that fucking nice?
There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind.
And then we had a quote from the actual suspect, and he said this.
Run through a motherfucker face.
Again, a product of our public schools, obviously. What did he say again? I want to hear that quote again.
Run through a motherfucker face.
He turns around, he starts pointing to me. This is the white victim. He's talking to the people at the table, just rattling on about white people are the devils, are the world. I hate white people. We should get rid of white people. The attacker followed him when he tried to change tables and kept bothering him. And in a split second, he did a Mike Tyson punch to my face. The NYPD's Hate Crimes Task Force is investigating the assault. I'm sure they'll put almost 4 or 5 minutes into it since the white guy was a victim. Police describe the attacker. Yeah, this is the only time they'll mention the color if the suspect's black. If you have a picture of him, they have to. The attacker is black with dark skin, as opposed to, I guess, a Whitney Houston, nice light skin hue, and a beard, about 5'10", wearing a baseball cap, gray sweatpants, and waist-length jacket. Well, that'll narrow it down to about 75,000 fucking Bronx members. Anyone with information, call Crime Stoppers at 800-577-KILL-WHITEY. No, 800-577-TIPS. That's TIPS for you people in the Bronx neighborhood. Tips, that's ironic. You're trying to bust a black guy, and tips is the... That was fucking hilarious. Nice red leather jacket. I bet you he's got a red Mercedes to go with it. Who buys a red leather jacket? Well, maybe it's not leather. Maybe it's fucking vinyl. Time for a prayer. Our Father who art in heaven. 833-599-6425. It's kind of peaceful, isn't it, on the Patreon day? You're all at work. Anybody who can afford to subscribe works at least till 7-ish. Here we go. A man was caught on camera raging over the sight of Ted Cruz's name, confronting the homeowner. The guy had a Cruz sign in his yard, and rushing his cell phone camera. We have a video of this motherless tit wonder. Go ahead.
I'm just going to take them down. If you live here, if it's your property, that's all I want.
That is my property.
It is your property?
Yes.
Okay. This is... Oh, that's your property too, though, huh?
That's my neighbor's property.
Big tough guy.
He's a gun owner.
Hey, you have that coat and leather, faggot?
I'm a gun owner too.
I would watch. Be careful.
Nice Levi's.
If you guys shoot me over that would be great. That would be really...
It would be great. You'd be dead.
Appropriate response. That would be...
You know, I have about 100 of these. I'm about to put more out.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll feel better about that.
Oh, you're such a badass. Look at his fucking too tight corduroys from 1973.
I hate that Cruz.
David Crosby is pissed. Apparently that liver's not sitting on.
I hate that Cruz.
Being attacked by the bass player from fucking Styx.
Following me.
Look at this fucking guy. It's like Meathead, Rob Reiner when he was young.
I've lived here for 15 years. Not had this behavior. He just went nuts. Tore up our signs.
I tore up his Ted Cruz sign.
Look at
I've lived here for
Hold
26
on,
years.
pause. You notice these left wingers are a little, they sound swishy. Even the Antifa ones. They sound swishy when they get interviewed. Remember the kid who threw the roundhouse kick? He's like, I don't like Ted Cruz. And he's sexually confused. You can tell by his clothing. Doesn't have a friend in the world. Just a fucking another loser on the left. Didn't play sports as a kid and grew up to be an asshole. Was an asshole as a kid. Did you see his behavior? They are literally losing their mind. They can't believe it. And we have it all on tape. Somebody's going to run a mod. Literally, since Trump got elected, we could put together a 3-hour special. We didn't have to say a word. Just them flipping out, whether it's Maxine Waters. It doesn't matter. They're fucking losing, whether it's fucking the thick ankle dog face and her rapist husband, whoever. I hate Ted Cruz. Why do you hate him? What are you, a bigot? Speaking of Ted Cruz, in a related story, at the end the guy says, Ted Cruz does not belong in fucking Montrose, which is near Houston. Go to the Woodlands. If we go to the Woodlands, we'll find those 12 boys you have buried there, you big girl. I hate Nancy Pelosi. Grow up, you fucking loser. What are you guys laughing at? No, it's not me. Here's Ted Cruz walking through the Reagan airport where he was confronted by agitators. I call them smelly twats, likely seeking to create a crowd and push back on him. Here's the video of this another lefty losing her fucking mind.
People. And it was a victory for women in America.
You think that putting a sexual assaulter on the court is a victory for women?
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
So you believe in men assaulting women? That's what your vote has today, Senator.
I believe in due process.
You believe in due process? Lots of women were out there talking about their stories, and you don't. Do you believe in a man lying about his alcohol in front of the Senate and perjury? Do you believe in perjury?
Thank you for expressing your First Amendment rights.
So why do you support a man that abuses women?
Because
shame
women
on
like
you, Ted Cruz.
God bless you, ma'am.
Shame on you, Ted Cruz. 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 Shame on you, Ted Cruz.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
Imagine if Cruz turned around and said that after saying God bless you. How funny. Just turns around, gets right in her face, and fucking lets her have it. Shame on you, Ted Cruz. How about a man who lied about his alcohol? Oh, so now it's about drinking and not this. What were those 8th grade girls? Ladies, you're really, not all ladies, the ones on the far left, and you're really making assholes of yourself. Really showing why men have been running the planet for the last 1,000 years. Oh, my God. And that's the best thing you can just say to one of those godless whores. God bless you. Fucking Cruz was a national debate champion at Harvard. I wonder if he can handle a couple of fucking angry college girls at the airport. Ryan, your thoughts?
He'd win.
Excellent. Again, bringing comedy to the forefront.
He'd cruise
I
to
love
victory.
these two guys. Oh, God. I think Ryan's was funnier, Jason. Holy shit. Paulie pun over there. What in Christ's creation was that?
You didn't hire us for the jokes.
That's a good fucking point, but, every once in a while you get fucking kicking something worthwhile, but...
You'd think it'd rub off on us, but it hasn't.
It hasn't. No, I don't want to rub you any which way, okay? You're the next one into the dunk tank, by the way. That's what we're doing, by the way. I came up with this. Next time there's punishment, not in the winter because the septic tank doesn't smell as bad. I'm going to wait till it kicks up in July, about 97, and we're going to build one of those dunk tanks. We're going to open up the septic tank, take the lid off, and throw softballs, and you make a strike. The twinks go right in, neck high in my feces. Just a nice frothy, just a combination of piss and diarrhea, used tampons, baby wipes, and gingerbread cookies.
Makes me happy that you want me here until July.
I want you here. You just have to focus a little. You're like an 11-year-old fucking whose mother was a meth addict. And she was shooting it right into her tits, and it went right into your fucking umbilical cord. How does the tits connect to the umbilical cord? God bless you, ma'am. God bless you. Shame on you, Ted Cruz. Shame on you, Ted Cruz.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
Ted, do you understand? And I'm not kidding at this point. Do you understand, Ted? You would get more votes if you did that. Because a lot of people like me that lean right, we're not as religious as you and stuff. If you fucking did that, matter of fact, even if a lefty did that, if a lefty snapped it like Hillary and Maxine, I would have to think about, well, Nick, what does that say about you? Not much. Never said I was a fucking, I like that type of nonsense. Let's get on to a self-whiting, hating, like there's any other kind of college professor. Ole Miss professor James, Ole Miss, and something tells me he is a miss. Seriously. Bill Hicks once said of Strom Thurmond, who was a senator who was a real far-right guy, and Bill Hicks once said, when you're that far right, you're hiding a deep, dark secret. Well, it can work the other way for guys like this. He must have been touched by fucking Uncle Teddy. I don't know. Ole Miss professor James Thomas, put your whole damn fingers, this is his quote, in Republicans' meals. That's what he said.
Smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
James Thomas, an assistant professor at Ole Miss, tweeted from his account. His account is @insurgentprof, calling for the abandonment of civility by contaminating GOP senators' meals in restaurants or redistributing the meals to other patrons. Thomas made the statement on October 6th, the day that Justice Kavanaugh was sworn into the United States. Well, I guess it got to you a little bit, huh? White bitch. He has since, hey, Ryan, keep that pen. Thank you. I keep looking over thinking there's a bat or a bird flying around in there. The light keeps reflecting. He has since set his account on private like most lefty bitches do who get all mouthy and then backpedal. Here's his tweet. Don't just interrupt the senator's meal, y'all. So he talks like he's black. Put your whole damn fingers in their salads like my uncle did my ass. What? Take their apps and distribute them to other diners. Bring boxes and take their food home with you on the way out. They don't deserve your civility, is what he said.
Who said that? Who the fuck said that?
Professor Thomas.
Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant?
That would be assistant professor at Ole Miss, James Thomas. That who? He says, the article says, this hasn't been the professor's first time calling for harassment. In a July tweet, Thomas said that he might begin calling the cops on white people because he believes it's clear that skin color is an issue directly pertaining to national security. And he's right there. The overflow of black and brown people pouring into the country is an issue. And white people picking up the check. That's his other tweet. I think just going to start calling the cops on white people. They're clearly the greatest threat to national security and individual liberty. What would you know about individual liberties, you fucking moron, group thinking, fascist, intolerant fuckstain? What would you know about liberty? You work on a fucking college campus where there's no such thing as liberty. You're all for fucking, you're anti-First Amendment. What do you know about liberty, you jack off? What the fuck are you talking about, you Chris Elliott-looking motherfucker? What the? I would love to know what happened to him to get to this place psychologically where he hates his own race so much. Y'all.
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
University of Mississippi Chancellor Jeff Vitter posted Facebook on Sunday condemning statements. Sure he did. He said here's a recent social media post by a University of Mississippi faculty member did not reflect the values articulated by the university. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. This professor's values match your values since you're a chancellor and a campus in the United States. This is the exact environment that you've helped create. So his values do reflect what goes on 98% of the college campuses. So shut up. All due respect. These are just words to placate people. I'll read it again. This is the Chancellor, Jeff Vitter. A recent social media post by a UM faculty member did not reflect the values articulated by the university, such as respect for the dignity of each individual and civility and fairness. Is that what goes on? Maybe it's different at Ole Miss. Is that what goes on when Ann Coulter shows up to speak? Milo Yiannopoulos or Ben Shapiro? Is that what goes on? Dignity and respect and civility and fairness? While I passionately support free speech, I condemn statements that encourage acts of aggression. I urge all members of the Ole Miss community to demonstrate civility and respect for others and to honor the ideal of diversity of thought on a college campus.
I know what you did. You're a damn predator. All right, just get the hell out of here.
That guy reflects the core values on 98% of the college campuses. Closed-minded, intolerant, self-hating white male. Let's go to Dora in Valhalla. She says, Dora's shopping experience with Mexican. Now, I'm a fan of the Latinos, Dora. Don't get all fucking nutty. Did you go down to Mexico and get some cheap shoes? What were you doing? Buying steroids down there? Hi, Dora. How are you?
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Pretty good.
The phones are slow today, so
That's
I thought
all right.
I'd
like it that way.
Fill them in a little. You like it? That's what I said. I asked Ryan.
Yeah, I like to yap.
No, I'll put you through.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we love, especially when a woman calls the show. We don't have my demographic, as you would guess, mostly male. So we love to hear from what you have to say, Dora. Now, what happened? You were shopping with Mexicans.
I really was. Locally, you're a local. I live in the proximity that you live in, and I was in White Plains, and I think I was literally the only English-speaking person in any of the stores I went in today.
Yeah.
So when I come home and see these caravans,
yes,
it irritates me. It totally irritates me.
Well,
and it's time. It's time. I actually was talking out loud. I was in Modell's,
yes.
and there was an older man literally yelling across the store for a good 10 minutes. I was trying on sneakers in Spanish, and I was losing it. So I was like, where am I? Am I in America? I was speaking loudly. I'm like, my grandparents had to learn English when they came here. They came from Italy. They learned the language, and I just wanted to see if I got a response, but apparently they didn't understand anything I said.
Yeah, well, that's a great point. Now, even when you fucking get angry and you tell them that you need a translator to yell at them, but
sometimes they do know, but they choose not to speak English, which irritates me even more.
And it's not being a bigot or a racist, and people a lot smarter than me on TV have said, I mean, how does it make it better? I know this whole clamor for diversity, that's been the mantra of this country for the last 40 years. How does it make it better when the person waiting on you can't understand, you don't have anything in common, and how does that improve the kind? We used to have something called assimilation. I mean, language is the language is the glue that holds a culture and a country together. So don't give me this shit. You're a bigot if it irritates you. But it really, I looked at the screen. It said Dora's shop. I thought you said you were shopping for a Mexican, and I'm like, she must be doing some work. She must be adding a room in her house.
No, I have a connection when I need a little help in my yard. I don't go to the bus stop. I have someone I call.
All right.
But I literally, I'll spend all day like right on top of them because I'm like, do you understand?
Yeah.
Some of them have been here 20 years and they still don't speak English.
Well,
and it really makes me feel like they have no interest in, like you said, assimilation and becoming part of our country and our culture.
Yeah, well, they don't. Here's me. This was me trying to order at Wendy's the other night in New York City. This is what I got behind the counter. I said a Wendy's classic. Anyways, thank you, Dora, for the call. We love you. And again, it's not bigoted. It's fun. You can have fun with it, but I don't know who said it. It might have been the first Roosevelt, Teddy, whatever. If there's no assimilation in a paraphrasing, you end up being a country of squabbling ethnicities living next to each other with nothing in common, no ideal. It really is true. I don't know how you fucking argue with that. If I went to Mexico and I'm down there and I'm working and I only speak English and the guy's getting mad at me because I don't speak Spanish, I wouldn't blame him. Then again, I wouldn't go to Mexico for work. What do you... I cut lawns in Mexico. How's that for a twist? Wow, here comes a screen that I've never seen before. Let's go to Pat in Saratoga Springs. Pat, welcome to the show.
Yeah, hey Nick, how you doing? I just wanted to say in regard to that professor, I haven't seen somebody that slow and bowing down to black people so much since Eli Manning went there. But yeah, you know, I mean, the question these liberals refuse to ask themselves is, you know, I mean, what if like everyone from France went to Italy one day and it was majority French speaking, and then or everyone from Italy went to France and it was majority Italian? They wouldn't like that very much. And I worked as a bank teller for a while up here, and my favorite customers, some of them were the Hispanic guys that worked at the track. But I mean, you don't want it to be over flooded and lose our culture either.
That's right.
And I think you make a lot. I think you make a lot of good points there. And you know, when you lose that and you lose it too quickly, you start seeing a lot of the violence I think that we're seeing. And I do think it's a plan. You know, you mentioned like your favorite comic earlier. You know, and my favorite of all time was George Carlin. And he said they keep you fighting with yourselves and then they run off with all the money. You know, and they do it through tax laws or corporate law. They don't do it through less government, I can tell you that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But before I go, Nick, I always wanted to tell you, my top 5 is Carlin, you, Stanhope, Patrice, and then the Twinks Mothers. So.
Boy, those first 3 are good company. And by the way, those 3 you just mentioned, you know what they all have in common? Boston guys.
Boston.
Exactly, Pat. You have great taste, my brother. Talk to you later. Thank you for calling.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Love Patrice. Doug Stanhope is a national treasure. And again, politically not on the same page as me. Doesn't have to be. Fucking guy is legitimately crazy funny. And Patrice is angry and is, well, if people are going to call me racist, I'll call him racist. But I didn't call him right. I called him honest. That's why we liked each other. I got in a fight with a comic, not a fight, but an argument with this guy, Jim. I won't say his last name, gay comic. But he got right in my face. I made a gay joke, and he got my face about his friends dying of AIDS or some shit. And he was holding it was in the green room at the Tough Crowd, and he was holding a sandwich on a paper plate with chips, so I smashed it out of his hand. I thought Patrice was going to fucking fall. I've never heard it. He was laughing like we did when he was on Opie and Anthony. They played this clip of him laugh. I thought he was going to die right in front of us. I have never, because the brother, it can never be too mean with the brothers. It fucking, you know what I mean? Tears would come down. He couldn't believe, you know. And then I made like 9 gay jokes that were fucking vicious. Only because, and I still know this comic, and you know what? It was all forgotten the next day. That's how I live. That's how I live, in a tutu, my mother's bra. Let's play another clip of my boy, the great Robert Klein.
Those. See, I talk a lot about advertising and commercials and stuff because I think that the most creative minds in America make those, and sometimes fiendishly. Amco is one of those car-oriented ones, and it's so ridiculous and ironic. Essentially, if you go to their competitor, you know, I like my transmission fixed. You go, oh, I don't know, the trout season's right. Hell, do you ever see a transmission? And the guy looks at the sign and transmission's fixed. Hey, boss, remember that time you hit it right on the nose, $28,000 to the transmission? And then subliminal, very quickly, say, let's rape a child. You don't hear it. But if you slow down your Betamax, you can hear that. That's how low they are. But if you go to AMCO, you walk in like a transmission fix. Certainly there's a PhD with a white coat and clean nails and a clipboard. Mr. Klein, probably no charge. Loose screw, 5 minutes. But just relax. Hope you enjoy the donuts and the prostitutes while you're waiting. You know. Mr. Goodwrench, you know. Very macho commercial Sunday afternoon. You know, tires that grip the road, you son of a bitch, you'd better believe it. You know, the Sears die-hard battery will start these 5 cars in Minnesota and make love to your wife at the same time. But it's a Sears. The pickup truck goes up a steel hill with small print. Don't do this with your truck. It really doesn't work. It's bullshit, not good in Iowa. You notice Sunday afternoon, very little pantyhose or tampons or hand cream. A lot of, you know, tires that, what the hell, Black & Decker, Bob Lilly, build a dollhouse for your daughter, you fruit. You know,
Bob Lilly, build a dollhouse for your daughter, you fruit. Bob Lilly was a Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Cowboys. Oh, man. Fucking smart, funny, again, politically different than me. Absolutely love him. Anyhow, let's go to Jason, buddy Jason Ramirez in Houston. Jason, what's up, pal?
Yeah, man, I'll make it quick because I'm pretty sure you're getting tired of seeing my name popped up there on the.
Nah.
But well, I just wanted to say, given where I came from, the immigration issue is obviously something that I'm close to, and I think honestly what's happening right now, and this is one thing I've always had respect for with the Italians and the Irish, is because I think they up there in the Boston area and the New York area where you are, they were forced to adapt to American culture, both language and values-wise. And what's going on right now, and if you go back to Houston and downtown and you take the rail, the light rail and the train and all that,
yeah,
everything's in English and everything's in Spanish. And I blame politicians for that, and I also blame business owners for that too, because they're obviously trying to cater to that Latino market segment. But I think what eventually is going to be pushed is, and by the Democrats, and I say that because of their reluctance to adopt English as the official language of the country, I think they're going to try to do what fucking gay-ass Justin Trudeau's father did by officially making a dual language system where we have to speak both English and Spanish. And that's really going to keep a lot of the Latino community from really understanding American values and embracing the culture.
Why do you think that the Irish and Italians were forced to assimilate? I mean, you think the government forced them to?
No. I don't say forced. Obviously, the Irish came from the same background that the English did, with repression, and a lot of their rights and stuff stripped away. I mean, that's obvious during the potato famine and stuff like that. I'm a huge history nerd, so. Yeah. But and I think the Italians also too, because I mean, you know, the whole without papers and all that stuff, and you know, them having to adapt to the American culture in order to fit in order to be prosperous. And there's nothing wrong with people embracing their heritage and being proud of their Italian background, Hispanic background. Right. But we have to have a commonality to be cohesive and for us to be, moving in the right direction. And I think that keeping the cultures from touching each other or embracing each other, that it's really what's keeping this country from being cohesive.
Right.
Well,
people came over because they wanted to be American. You know, I mean, they wanted to, and that's not the case today. You see these rallies in L.A. They're holding Mexican flags and American flags upside down and shit. And
La Raza.
Yeah, La Raza, exactly.
Every time I hear that name, I want to fucking puke, man. Because America stole Texas and California. You need to read a fucking history book, because that was a revolution through all out Mexico. It wasn't just the whites trying to take Texas and Mexico. We actually paid for the territory too, by the way. Anyway, I won't ramble on.
All right,
love the show. Keep
all
going,
right,
man.
Jason, and go Red Sox.
Let's go Stros.
How about that? I just talked to a Houston Astros fan. Didn't even bring it up. I wouldn't either if my team was down 3-1. But let me just say this. Let me just say this about that. This series is far from over. And I mean that. That goddamn George Springer, I call him Stringer to irritate some people, and that Bregman and Altuve, even with his wooden leg, he's rounding the bases like a Every time a guy comes up, I'm like, Jesus, their lineup is. I'm like, this guy can hit homes. What's his name? Gary L. with that fucking. See his haircut with his helmet off? Every time I see it, I want to put shaving cream on. It's one of those brushes your dad used. They have a lot of fucking personality and shit. The Sox are more low-key. It's great. It is great. And that Dodgers-Brewers series is even better. Every game's 1-1 in the eighth, and it's amazing, whether it's pro hockey or baseball, when the playoffs come, except for the NBA. I could give a rat's ass. They could be playing in my backyard right now for the NBA championship. I'd be watching TV on the couch. I just can't watch sport where teams exchange baskets for 2 hours before it means fucking. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't do it. She's commiserating. All right, that's it. That's enough for today, folks. Why? Because I gotta go pee-pee. I'll get to these tomorrow. More politically correct gender horseshit, forcing companies to rebrand their products because the feminists, the mustachio, thick-angled dog faces just get upset if we even talk about women. And I didn't even get to the accused Treasury leaker. This is somebody that works in the Treasury Department who was leaking shit about Paul Manafort and some of the other former Trump aides to the press through another person that she worked with. They have the text and everything. And she's been arrested, and we'll get to that tomorrow. Anything else? Enjoy the baseball tonight. Chase, do you know if the Dodgers are playing again tonight?
No, the series is going back to Milwaukee.
God
so
damn it. That's right. That's right. That means I'll have to watch Leave It to Beaver and then watch that Wayne Newton clip one more time.
Well, the Sox could clinch tonight. I think they got one more in Houston before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know that, my friend. I know that. But it's just, I think it's maybe David Price tonight. I don't know. They got him up in the bullpen. Him or Wendy Williams is coming in. Could we get more Hispanic relief pitchers, too, by the way? Holy Christ. Everybody comes in as Juan Valdez, 6'6", 257, 99 miles an hour, 103. That James guy last night, oh my God, was he frightening. Anyways, that's enough, kids. Patrons, again, thank you so much for the support. Go to nickdip.com if you want to see me live somewhere in your neighborhood. Probably looking into your bathroom window, 3 a.m. But kids, what did I do with that thing I was supposed to read? You know about the codes, Facebook 20 and whatever. That's it. Remember, you guys think it. I will say it. See you guys tomorrow, and here's a little something for you.